From multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. You may hear the sound of race cars in the background because Dan Margetta has not only spent the night in beautiful Rockford, Illinois, but he is at the racetrack down there where we're getting ready for I think it's the 56th annual event. Dan, it's a pretty big deal down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a National Short Track Championships. It is a 56th event, the Big 8 races today, and I'm inside the Team Bonafide hauler, the Egan Motorsports. I guess you'd call it the mobile studio this week because I'm going to do the show from their hauler right now where they're getting ready to go practice. They qualified last night. They have 188 laps today, and pits are pretty busy right now.
All right, and of course, there's a possibility you're going to be hearing race cars firing up in the background. Today, we are thinking Brandon Brown and Tate Fogelman. Who the hell are they?
Who the hell are them guys?
You're wondering
who the hell are they
possibly be? Well, they are the two latest winners at Talladega yesterday. Brandon Brown declared the winner in the Xfinity Series race when darkness overtook the racetrack and they just couldn't go any further. By the way, darkness after red flag after red flag after caution, which pushed it back. So it was very short-sighted thinking that you could get the whole race in knowing how much they crash and stop at Talladega. And earlier in the day, the well-known Tate Fogelman held off Tyler Hill to win in the Truck Series race at Talladega. And if you think that means that all the other trucks crashed out, you're right. It's Talladega. That's what you get at Talladega. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon Brown has suddenly got himself a lot of fans. He's been racing for 8 years. He has 114 Xfinity starts, 22 truck starts for a total of 136 races before he got his first victory yesterday. And the fans were so excited that they were chanting, "Let's go, Brandon."
Sure they were. Sure
perhaps they were. I think that's what they were saying.
No, sure they were.
That sounded kind of like what they're saying.
Yeah,
by the way,
I think they're going to be chanting then from now on. That might be the new chant you hear a lot of places.
Yeah, I think you're right. By the way, Dan is at Rockford, and we are joined by our other partners, including my longest tenured partner, Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin, who was glued to the TV all day yesterday, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good listening to a lot of the spotters and especially listening to Xfinity spotter for Sam Mayer, who was the same spot for Johnny Boyd. That's Chad Boyd, yeah. And he's trying to say to him, no, not no, and that the last no was the end of it. And he came up across, he hit a car, came across the track, took out A.J. Allmendinger. End of a beautiful romance.
Oh. That's terrible. And, of course, Brian Schmidt, short track specialist, dirt guy, and all-around good guy. Hi, Brian, of Oostburg, Wisconsin.
Morning from beautiful Oostburg. Where it's raining.
Oh, geez. And I think, Dan, the forecast is for rain later in Rockford?
The chance is coming in later in the afternoon. I mean, it's better than what it was last night, so that's pretty encouraging that way. It's not raining now. It was wet from last night's rain, but they're practicing on the track. They plan on starting at 1 o'clock. If anything, it may have a chance later, like after 3, which hopefully we should be almost done with this thing. So the forecast has improved a lot since last night. So I'm optimistic. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Unlike Rockford, Talladega's forecast is lousy.
Oh, is that right? What are they looking at, Ed?
Oh, it's about an 80% chance of rain.
Hey, well, the green flag is supposed to drop at 1:03 today, and so we'll just have to watch that closely. We're kind of 1 hour increments. The race starts at 1, the Brewers start at 2, the Packers start at 3:30. So you will be able to watch most of all these, especially if you've got that previous channel button working good, like we all do. So it's going to be a busy day with the buttons and dodging the rain the way it sounds. But hopefully they won't have to dodge darkness like they did yesterday. That's how it works sometimes.
They're asking the drivers to put the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and they couldn't see the flagman could not see inside the cars if they were thumbs up or thumbs down.
That's how you know it's dark enough to call it. By the way, Dan Margetta is.
Don't you have to wonder, though, why we started that race so late, the Xfinity race yesterday? I mean, if you run a doubleheader like that, you know the track doesn't have lights, and it has a tradition for having wrecks and red flags. They almost didn't really have. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, you crash a lot of cars every time you go to these tracks.
And this goes to show that TV dominates it, no matter how much common sense is needed. I mean, you could have ran that truck race, in the morning yesterday. You could have started that at like 11 o'clock, local time, but that would interfere with Fox's college football coverage that they have going on, and Fox does the truck stuff, and then you got NBC with their Xfinity race. But I mean, a 3:30 green flag when it gets dark already by 6:30, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're doing it in July when it's light out till 10 o'clock at night, sure, no problem. But
yeah,
we're in October here,
Yeah, we just have to be smarter than that. Let's look at what sunset time is. By the way, Dan Margetta is not the only one coming to you from a racetrack. I am actually coming to you from the completely vacant Dells Raceway Park, where promoter Jerry Albee was nice enough to let me use the Wi-Fi because I have lousy Wi-Fi at my cabin. So that's how it all works. And we're all one big happy family and waiting to take your calls at 414-421-7901. And we'd love to have your take on anything going on in the world of racing right now. And there's sounds like things are getting going where you are, Dan.
Yeah, it's practice is continuing. Right now the Mid-Am cars are on the racetrack. The Super Cup cars are going on now. And
that's that sound.
That's what that was. Yeah, those are the Super Cup cars.
A interesting thing happened yesterday. Of all things you've never heard of for being penalized, in the Xfinity Series, the number 11 car was required to start from the rear and serve a pass-through penalty on the first green flag lap because of, quote, improperly applied decals. And you're wondering what the hell that could possibly be. Well, there is a thing that is known among crew guys. It's a way to stretch the rules. They like to use thicker decals on speedway cars, on the roof numbers and on the deck lid sponsor, where they put the deck lid sponsor decals. Anything to trip air off of the roof or deck lid before it hits the spoiler. That's what it's all about. Teams do it all the time. NASCAR's onto it these days and looking for it, and that's what happened to the number 11 Xfinity card yesterday for improperly applied decals. Oh my God!
Is it because it's thicker vinyl, or numerous decals?
That is what the quote was from my source. Thick decals on a speedway
I
car.
thought they could cut it out of quarter-inch vinyl.
Yeah.
There you go. And sometimes they even let the lip of the decal stick up in the air and not put as much glue on it.
Tell us about that, Brian.
Yeah, when we come back, Brian's going to have a pretty good story about that.
Yeah. We'll be back. Hang in there with us.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Y'all ready?
It is the biggest regular season game.
But after last season, he's already kind of proven himself a little bit, right?
Man, you thought that I wasn't good enough for you? No matter what I ended up doing, if I saw you again, I still had a berth for you.
Two Pros, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe, Jonas Knox.
Weekdays after 5 a.m. on the Big 920 and Big920.com.
And welcome back to the program. Glad you could join us. Dan is at Rockford. The rest of us are anticipating today's race at Talladega. Interesting name for the race today, Brian. What are they calling it?
The Yellow Lumber?
Yellowwood.
Like Yellowwood. Yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow, though. Not Yellow. It's Yella.
Yeah, it's a brand. It's just a brand. Yeah. Well, it's whatever it takes.
Kind of like the crew guys yell at you when you mess with their decals, right, Brian?
Yeah, Brian, tell us that story.
Yeah, this was years ago. We were at Chicagoland Speedway. I think it's Friday before practice is going on, and the late great Jimmy Watson was there, and we were talking, just leaning up against the race car a little bit, and I noticed the sticker kind of on the back was like kind of high. So I'm like, take my finger, and I start, like pressing it down a little bit, and he basically almost slapped my hand and goes, "Don't touch that," and a couple other guys kind of started grumbling and mumbling a little bit, and I was like, what the heck is that? Well, fortunately, a little while later, Jimmy would take me aside and explain to me exactly what we just talked about before, about how you put those decals on there to create downforce on the race car, and then I understood it. But otherwise, you'd just be thinking, oh, why is this thing sticking up? But so I learned years ago what they're doing with stickers.
Jimmy Watson was a very smart guy, and he brought his unique brand of expertise on stretching the rules no matter where he went. And he therefore found himself employed all the time, from no matter what team it is. People liked having a guy like that around. So let's go to the telephone at 414-421-7901. Dean in Cambridge, Wisconsin, waiting to talk to us. Dean, let's talk NASCAR.
Yes, I'd like to talk a little bit about last week's show about this pay-per-view TV that they're going to come up with in 2024. What do you think that's going to do to the TV ratings for NASCAR?
There won't be any TV ratings because, of course, if it isn't on TV, they can't tell you who's watching and who's not watching. But if it's, they can give you a specific number of people, instead of one of those ratings things. And, more and more things are showing up streaming these days, right, Ed?
Yes.
And
it's the wave of the future, I guess.
Yeah, and we really don't know exactly how it's going to work yet. I mean, the first half of the season, I don't think will be any problem because Fox is going to still have their FS1, FS2, and Fox platforms. It's the second half of the season when NBC is doing away with NBC Sportsnet, and they're going to be moving more to this Peacock thing. And the other thing we don't know yet is Peacock has different levels of viewing.
Right.
You can sign up for the current Peacock, the one that had the Olympics on it, and that type of thing, and there's no cost to it. You just got to have a username and a password. My guess would be that is where NASCAR is going to put their races if it's not on TV. I know there's like one IndyCar race, I believe, next year that's going to be on there. All the rest of them are going to be on NBC, the big network. NASCAR being a little bigger than IndyCar, in most people's opinion, I would guess most of their races will be on NBC next year, but we just don't know. So I don't think we're going to have to be opening up our wallets and credit cards and paying for a viewing service next year for racing.
But it's down the line, Brian, don't you think?
I would think it's down the line. Yeah, absolutely. But right now, as long as we still have all these cable and TV and satellite providers, I'm thinking we're still going to be able to watch it for what we pay for that.
And remember, NBCSN is going away, and that's part of the whole thing here. Some races are going. What network was it? USA, Brian?
Yeah, USA is another one of their satellite networks that they use, so you might see some races on that. I think there's going to be at least 2 IndyCar races on that next year. So, I mean, NBC, it's ironic they're getting rid of their service, and they have all the series. They have IMSA, they have IndyCar, and they have NASCAR, and then they have all the feeder series along with it. Strange that they're getting rid of their sports service, but that's why I think this Peacock thing is going to be something they're going to roll out.
And it's the way of the future, and pretty much you might as well get used to it, Dean. It's on the way.
Well, hey, just talk after a while. Can you guys talk about that wonderful truck race that took out half the field in one accident?
Yeah, well, fellas, we know what it's like at Talladega. I'll tell you what, they were pretty well behaved until that point, and I was kind of waiting, and you almost look at your watch thinking it's coming. When is it coming? They're being just a little bit too nice. Oh, here it is, and boomity boom. I mean, to tell you, he was right. Look how many trucks were involved in that thing yesterday. Unbelievable.
Yeah, 19. I think it was like 19.
It only takes one idiot to make it all happen.
And even though you are 100% right, sometimes it doesn't even take an idiot for something to happen. Sometimes it's just a little bit of contact that is going to happen at that speed with that many trucks and that little bit of air, and it's going to happen, right?
No. If you hit somebody, it's so simple to spin a guy out if you hit him in the wrong spot. And everybody knows what those spots are to stay away from, but some guys can't.
I think that's what – I mean, at the end of the race, we saw Matt Crafton pretty irritated with, John Hunter Nemechek about that. And Crafton pretty much made it clear that, you can hit me in certain spots of this track, but you should know better than to hit me in other parts of this track.
Especially in a trial.
Yeah, exactly. And that's –
you don't do that in a trial.
Exactly. Yeah, and these kids just don't get it, and some of them just don't get it. I mean, Dan, what was that about 3 years ago? We're at Daytona, and we were wondering if any cars or any trucks were going to finish that race. I think there were like maybe, 8 or 10? All they did is just kept wrecking.
Yeah, there weren't many left. Is it a problem with the video game deal, too? I mean, there's no practice and that kind of stuff anymore, and everybody practices by playing video games, and in video games, you can wreck like crazy and get a new car. So, I mean, nobody really seems to think about that. Does that have something to do with it?
I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, you just press reset and another truck appears,
But the thing they don't realize, which is basic knowledge, when you're going through the tri-oval, the car is already in yaw. And you just don't do that kind of touching in the tri-oval.
And, you think we'd learn, but we know how it works. And this, when you see that there's a race coming on from Talladega. They put it on the big network because people that are fringe at best race fans like to see crashes, and they know it's just a matter of time, and they like to see crashes, and they're going to see crashes.
Well, Todd,
and that's what happened yesterday.
You should be well experienced at that, because look what happens when you run a crash fest race at a local racetrack.
Yep, it's full because, oh my God, we know everybody's going to crash. We do appreciate the call, Dean, and if anybody else would like to call, 414-421-7901. We'll be right back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
Even if the Packers would have lost, that was the most impressive display by the Packers I think I've seen in multiple years. For the first time that I can remember, they went toe-to-toe, and they had to do it on the road with a super talented, well-coached, physical team.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays after 11 on the Big 920 and Big920.com.
We got to start thinking about points pretty soon again, whether you like to or not. We are in the playoffs after all. Brad Keselowski is maintaining a 4-point advantage to the good over William Byron, 4 points to the bad. But there are other, it's pretty jammed up right there. Joey Logano is only 6 points to the good. So those two Penske drivers are right now, pretty narrow leads to maintain. And boy, I'd hate to have anything counting on a finish at Talladega because this is one of those places where, nothing is predictable this year.
Well, that's where we get in trouble when we're getting to 4, 5, 6 laps before each stage. And guys are scrambling to get from 11th and 12th into the top 10 to get those chase points.
Oh, man, that's pretty impressive, no doubt. And that's what NASCAR wanted when they installed the system, and they're getting what they paid for, that's for sure.
And I'm not sure anybody's really, is anybody safe today, really, other than maybe Kyle Larson? I think if you're even 24, 25 points to the good, I think you're in trouble. I remember Kyle Busch getting bounced out of the playoffs at Talladega, and he had a 26-point lead and was leading the points coming into it.
Oh, that's right. Boy, Brian, I don't know. Is that enough?
No. I mean, Kyle Larson is the only one that's really safe today, and the rest of them, it's a free-for-all to see what happens. Even a guy like, Christopher Bell, he's 25 points out, but if he has a good day, finishes in the top 5, and all these other guys get wrecked out, he's going to be sitting really good next week. So you just never know what's going to happen. And
speaking of next week, keep in mind, they go to the Charlotte road course next week. So there's another one. It's kind of a crapshoot, There's guys that are good at road courses, but a lot of stuff can happen there.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you win, are you locked in for the next round?
After today, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Hamlin's already locked in. He already did his deal at
That's
Vegas.
what I thought.
So, Yeah, but so in other words, is the 11 car going to be taking any unnecessary chances today? Well, it doesn't matter.
He won't have a choice.
Yeah,
He's already out of the race. Not only does he have to have a start at the back, he has to do a drive-through at the beginning of the race. So
you're thinking 11 car in the Xfinity Series. We're talking about
that was
Hamlin.
yesterday, Ed, with the decals. That was yesterday's Xfinity race. He's good.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, he's good. He's okay. And he's got, he can throw caution to the wind. He doesn't care. He can do anything to win this race. He can take a gamble on fuel. He could make a move that some people might think would be questionable, because if he crashed, it wouldn't matter.
Can you imagine going into the Roval next week as a must-win situation for Chase Elliott?
Yeah, he could do it. He could be there. That's for absolute sure. Let's talk to Jeff in Edgerton, Wisconsin, waiting here on line 2. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. Good morning, guys. Couple questions. With the failure to get to inspection 2-3 times, it just doesn't seem guys are getting the message. Would there be anything wrong with you get 3 chances to fail inspection at the beginning of the year? If you don't make it 2 on the first time, after your 3rd strike, they start taking away 10 points. Because with the mandatory caution flag for competition caution, it just doesn't seem like it's a penalty per se, because there's the haves and the have-nots, and most of the fast cars that are failing inspection have already passed the have-nots within the first few laps. So just trying to, everyone knows what the rules are. Can't we just show up and get ready to race? And then one last question for Dan. Is there still a race car parked in the infield from last night, or did somebody have to bring the tow truck in to move it before today's practice? I'll listen to you guys.
All right, thanks. Dan.
Well, go ahead, Dan.
Well, I haven't been inside to see the inside of the track. I've just been in the pits. I wonder if that car was there. He's talking about one of the dash cars. I think it was Matt Berger was upset with a call. They said he was a lap down because he went off the track, and he thought he finished second. He just parked his car in the front stretch, got up and walked away, and let the car sit there. They pushed it in the infield. I'm not sure if it's still there yet. But
that sounds like a Jerry Eckhart story.
That's beautiful. All right, Ed. Failing inspection.
I agree with. I think he's got a lot. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Money doesn't seem to affect him. Rodney Childress is going to miss today's race because of failing inspection or because of loose wheels. But I think points would carry much big penalty than anything else they could do is taking positions away.
Man, it's not enough taking car chief away after 3 failed inspections?
No, because he can say he's going to be at home. He's going to be he'd be at the Ford. What do they call that, Dan?
Oh, yeah, the R&D Center?
Right. Center in Concord, yeah.
Right, and he can do everything that he's doing between him and Timmy on that car. He doesn't have to be sitting on top of the box to make all that happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all that streaming right in front of him with all the computers, okay? Plus, he's listening to Timmy and Harvick with their back and forth on what the car needs, and he could text. Well,
some of those teams even have like software and stuff that'll make pit calls for you and tell you what to do, when to pit, when to stay out. I mean, the Childress has that, I think, don't they? Where they actually give the crew chiefs an idea what to do and strategize depending on what everybody else is during the race.
In the STIM program, they have that built in. So I really think the caller has a good idea about taking points away, positions away.
That's not a bad idea. The things that they come up with in those inspections, Ed, we're talking thousandths of an inch on tolerances, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you can fail inspection without trying. I mean, there's ways. It's just so precise that it seems like it's not.
I think how goofy it got when everybody figured out that flat black didn't scan right in their scanner. Remember that? Every car that 78 car was flat black for a long time, and suddenly everybody else has had flat black on the back of their cars, so much so they had to make them put like tape on it to get through the scanner right. I mean, people figure stuff out like that. Who sits around and makes that up? But it's true and it happens. I mean, people do that.
I think next year might be we'll see how it is a little different next year because we're going away from, the steel bodies that we have, and we're going to have a composite body car, snaps together. You don't see as many inspection failures in the Xfinity and the Truck Series with their composite bodies because they snap together and you can't massage them as much. So next year, I think it'll be a little bit different, with the amount of failures you have, and that might change how NASCAR rules it also because it is kind of black and white how these things go together. So if you do fail it, you were trying to do something. And I think maybe that's what we're waiting for to get to that point next year, and then we'll see where they go with it.
You got to remember that everything from the greenhouse down is identical on all these cars.
It's supposed to be, right? Yeah, it has to be. That's what they're checking on. We'll be back.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This,
keep it on the down low here,
is the Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Brady going back to New England, this is starting to reach postseason levels. And it's kind of funny because Brady and Belichick, they're programmed to say, we're just going to take it one game at a time. Do they treat this any differently? Privately, I'm sure they do. There's a lot of pride here. How important is this to Brady? How important is this to Belichick?
Dan Patrick. The Dan Patrick Show.
Weekday mornings after 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and Big920.com.
Oh, the Tom Brady hype has been spectacular, hasn't it? It's tonight. We got a Packer game at 3:30 this afternoon, so let's worry about that and not so much about Tom Brady. Couple of things that happened this week. They finally released a new truck and Infinity schedule. And Brian, I guess there's no real big surprises because they kind of hint in advance what's coming.
Yeah, Xfinity Series is pretty straightforward. The only really new event on the schedule is Portland's race, which is going to be on Saturday, June 4th. Just a stand-alone. That's going to be their only standalone race. They're going to be back at Road America again, the Xfinity Series on Saturday, July 2nd. That'll be the Henry's 180 preceding the Cup race. They're going back to the Indy Road Course again like they've done the last 2 years on Saturday, July 30th. And the rest of it is pretty much following along the same schedule as the Cup Series. Now, one that is quite a bit different is the Truck Series schedule. They've changed theirs up a little bit more. Still a low amount of events. They're only running 23 events next year. I think that might be what they had this year. But their playoffs are going to start already on Friday, July 29th, and they're running at IRP again, Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. But that's going to be the first race of their playoffs. Think about July playoffs. Just seems a little strange. No truck race at Road America this year yet, or around here, so we won't be seeing them in the state of Wisconsin. But they're going back to the dirt at Bristol again. They're going back to the surprising one to me anyway is they're going back to the dirt at Knoxville. I guess they're going to give another shot at that but it's earlier this year. That's going to be on Saturday, June 18th. But otherwise, the rest of the schedule is pretty much similar. They're going to be Mid-Ohio, the Truck Series is, on Saturday, July 9th. That's a new addition for them. So that's what their schedule looks like. But their playoffs will start at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, July 29th. Their second race of the playoffs, August 13th at Richmond. And then their first cut round is Friday, September 9th at Kansas. And then their round of 8 goes September 15th at Bristol, October 1st at Talladega, and October 22nd at Homestead. And then their championship race is in Phoenix on November 4th. So a long run for the playoffs for the Truck Series.
Yeah, no kidding. It's spread out. Well, with only a 23 truck race schedule, it turns out that way. Dan?
And let's see what this does for the Indianapolis weekend now going back to IRP. I mean, as far as attendance-wise, let's see how many people come down and watch that race. I think that one will be well-attended. We'll see how many come over and go to the big track to watch the things over there. But I think that's a good move coming back to IRP because trucks and the Xfinity cars, when they were there, they put on a pretty good show.
Oh, and I missed another one on here. Saturday, June 11th, the Truck Series will be at Sonoma. So they're going to haul all the way out to Sonoma to go with the Cup Series out there. So that's kind of interesting. They will be the companion with the Cup Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis on June 4th and 5th. And then they're going to tow out to Sonoma to be the companion series with the Cup Series out there on June 11th. So they got a lot of traveling in the month of June. So 2 road races for the Truck Series, 3 road races for the Truck Series. Circuit of the Americas, Sonoma, and Mid-Ohio. So 2 of them are brand new for them, Mid-Ohio and Sonoma, which they've never run before.
And I think what they dropped was the Canada race. They're not going to Canada.
Yeah. They've had 2 unsuccessful attempts at that.
Yeah, there is no strike 3. And Dan, this week we found out a little bit more. There was a kind of a musical chairs going on over at Penske because Todd Gordon, who is the crew chief for Ryan Blaney, announced he's going to retire at the end of this year, and they had to figure out where they were going to get the crew chief for Ryan Blaney. Kind of an in-house thing, right?
Yeah, they just took him over from the 21 car. Jonathan Hassler, who's the crew chief over there right now, is going to come and be Ryan Blaney's crew chief, which is probably what they've done. They've moved people out of that 21 car up into the mothership, so to speak, a lot. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know what Harrison Burton's going to do as far as his crew chief. He'll be driving the 21 next year. But that's the big change. Jeremy Bullen stays on the 2 car with Austin Cindric next year. And, of course, Paul Wolf and Joey Logano stay together. So the big change there is just Blaney's new guy.
And we're still anticipating a possibility that Paul Wolf will be stolen by Keselowski when he goes over to Roush. We think that could be out there. We have no reason to believe it will. But I guess the real question at this point is, who's going to team up with Harrison Burton? Does he have a crew chief that he's been working with, and will he be hired to take over the Wood Brothers car? Remember, Burton is the new driver for the 21 car next year.
Can he be hired? I mean, Burton drives for Gibbs right now. Are those guys locked down? I'm not sure.
Interesting. There's a lot going on, that's for sure. This week, Alan Kowicki will be inducted into the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame. That happens on this coming Tuesday. So still getting put into halls of fame. Pretty cool for Alan Kowicki, that's for sure. And congratulations, the Briscoes had a boy. Chase and Marissa Briscoe had a boy yesterday. His name is Brooks. So Brooks Briscoe. There's a name. You're hearing it for the first time. He'll be a driver someday, I'm sure. That's
and one thing about Alan Kowicki, you got to remember Tom Roberts is still swinging the bat for him.
Yes, and doing a great job at it, no doubt. So that's still happening. By the way, this week it was announced that Ricky Stenhouse is going to be back in the 47 car, and there were a lot of folks that were really hoping it would be Ryan Preece, who they say are outperforming Stenhouse on a weekly basis. It just must have something to do with sponsorship, I'm going to guess, right? I mean, is Preece fully sponsored? And we know Stenhouse has sponsorship on that 47 car. They probably want to see the same driver back in the car again, right, guys?
That's what I would guess. I don't think there is much sponsorship on the 37. That's why it's actually going away. They're going down to just one car next year. So Preece is kind of out there. Preece is a good driver, just, again, one of those guys with a lot of talent and no money behind him, I guess. So we have to see what happens on that deal. I think does Harvick represent Stenhouse? I think that representation, as far as like an agent type deal, Harvick's company represents him.
Right.
So that may have a lot to do with it too.
I never thought about that. Yeah, it's not always how good of a driver you are. I think Ryan Preece is a proven commodity. You say, well, how can you say that? He hasn't won a race like Stenhouse has. True, but you can see he has the talent, and he's taken a car that's, not the greatest, and he's made it look pretty good at times. But, if you don't bring money, this is what you get, unfortunately. So
I don't know if you saw the GMS truck, too. They announced that Enfinger is going to drive that truck for the next, 2 or 3 years, Grant Enfinger. It'll be the 23 truck. And their Cup car next year is supposed to be full-time. So that's another car that's going to be added to the mix. It's a one-car deal.
Rumor.
Everybody says Ty Dillon is the shoo-in for that ride. It hasn't been announced yet, but pretty much everybody has got him penciled in that car. So that's another car that's coming. If you lose a 37, we're going to add a GMS car.
Now, would that mean that would be a Chevrolet with the Dillon, link to Chevrolet?
In all likelihood,
I'm not,
yeah.
Well, but Ty's been driving Toyotas now, hasn't he? He's been driving for Gibbs a little bit, and even that 96 car once in a while.
Oh, that's
exactly.
Right.
He has, but GMS has been a long-standing Chevy operation, so I would imagine, and with Dillon there, maybe they'll have a little bit of an alliance with Childress, because if the other team is moving out of Childress and pairing with Hendrick, that would leave some space for them to help.
That's the Trackhouse team you're talking about.
Trackhouse, yeah.
By the way, Grant Enfinger is bringing Champion Power Equipment with him to the GMS 23 car next year. We're going to take a break and be back with some results.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
All eyes on the flag stand, waiting for the green flag to go in the air.
Playoff round of 12 resumes at Talladega.
Logano is upside down. He'll slam back into the racetrack.
With only 2 more chances to earn a spot into the round of 8.
Here comes Michael McDowell pulling alongside. It won't be enough.
It's the Yellowwood 500.
Coverage starts later today at high noon on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 at big920.com.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Yeah, another busy week of dirt track racing wrapping up here around in the state of Wisconsin. We'll start Friday night over at Beaver Dam. They had a 2-day special there. The Wingless Nationals, they call it. The MSA 360 Sprints were there. Travis Ahrens was your feature winner. And the IRA Wingless Sprints, Ryan Zaleski was your winner there. Up in Ashland, Wisconsin at the ABC Raceway, they had the Red Clay Classic. Night number 1 Friday for the Wissota Late Models. Jesse Glentz was your feature winner. Over in Fountain City, Wisconsin, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the Great Pumpkin Race, they called it. Night number 1. The USRA Modified feature winner was Dustin Sorensen, and the USRA Limited Late Model feature winner was Justin Sass. Down at Sycamore, Illinois, the Lucas Oil MLRA Late Model Series was down there. Garrett Alberson was your winner. Taylor Scheffler made the trek down there and finished 4th, which is an impressive run with the national tour over there, so good run for him. Gaffney, South Carolina, Friday night, the World of Outlaw Morton Buildings Late Model Series was there, $10,000 to win. That went to Brandon Overton. Connecoot, Ohio, the Raceway 7 for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, $12,000 to win. That went to Tim McCready. Friday night down at Terre Haute, Indiana, the USAC National Sprint Car Series was there. Chris Wyndham was your winner. And also Friday night in Williams Grove, Pennsylvania, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, National Open night number 1 for them, $10,000 to win. That went to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, it had been almost 2 months since he's last been in a sprint car. Hopped right back in, won right away. Not surprising.
And he got permission from Hendrick to do it. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. Saturday night up at Luxembourg, they had their fall special for the IMCA Modifieds. Listen to this. 80-year-old Jerry Munster was your feature winner, and it was a stout field of IMCA Modifieds up there. So congratulations for Jerry to be 80 and still winning in the IMCA Modifieds is awfully impressive. In the IMCA Stock Cars, it was Dusty Lohberger, and the Grand Nationals was Cody Wirtz. Night number 2 at Beaver Dam for the Wingless Nationals, the MSA 360 Sprints went to Jack Vanderboom, and the IRA Wingless Sprints went to Jake Kuba. Ashland, the Red Clay Classic, $5,700 to win for the Wissota Late Models. That went to A.J. Diemel, and the Modifieds, it was Shane Sobrowski. Fountain City, Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the night number 2 of the Great Pumpkin Race. Dustin Sorensen did the sweep for the USRA Modifieds, and in the Limited Late Models, it was Lance Hofer. Sonoya, Georgia, the World of Outlaw Morton Buildings Late Models, $10,000 to win. That went to Ashton Winger. Imperial, Pennsylvania, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series 33rd Annual Pittsburgher 100, $20,000 to win, went to Hudson O'Neill. Hudson O'Neill won that race. At lap 50, he was a lap down, got a lucky dog, drove through the field, and won it. That's pretty impressive. First time ever, they believe, a lucky dog winner on the Lucas Oil Series has actually won a main event, so that's impressive. Lawrenceburg, Indiana, the USAC Sprint Car Series, that went to Kevin Thomas Jr. And finally, Williams Grove, Pennsylvania, the National Open, $75,000 to win for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. Carson Macedo picked up the win there. That is everything we have.
And Larson had a terrible night.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. What happened to him, Ed?
He didn't qualify well. He finished 5th in the heat and never got going from 17th in the feature.
Too bad, because he could have been one of the first times the guys to win what they call the Triple Crown, which is the Kings Royal, the Knoxville Nationals, and the National Open. Been cool to see him win that.
All right, and we've got a few things around the world of asphalt racing, and thanks to Paul Reichert for his usual great job. Last week, right where I am coming to you from here at Dells Raceway Park, the Tundra Super Late Models had their championship event. Jordan DeVoy was your winner in the 38 car, and the champion for the 2021 season was Riley Stenjum. Nice job for Mr. Stenjum, a young guy that held off, of all people, Casey Johnson for that championship. Pretty cool stuff. They've been racing at Rockford, as you may have heard us talking about. Let's see. The NASCAR Late Models Weekly Warriors was Friday night. That was Austin Mason, not Nason.
No, it was Austin Nason.
It was? Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm just reading. Yesterday, the big show for the 56th National Short Track Championships and the Super Late Models. There were twin 45-lap features. The 45s came from Rich Bickle's number because it is last time at Rockford. And Dan, it was a pretty damn good show, wasn't it?
It really was. They had 16 cars there, an invitational type deal, and those guys knew how to race Rockford. I mean, they got in each other. It wasn't like they were, minding their P's and Q's. They were really rough and going after it. But when he got somebody sideways, he didn't drive through him and let him catch it. It was just good, hard racing. And Austin Nason won the first one, and Rich Bickle won the second one. Bickle got the overall title by they had qualifying points as well. Rich was second, so Rich won his last race at Rockford. He's on a roll. The Dells Slinger Rockford. He's got one coming up next week in Lacrosse and the Snowball left, I guess, and I think one more at the Dells. So it was just a neat deal to see, and it was really cool to see the guys like Tony Strupp and Al still get out there and race. Albert was on the lead lap for half that first race.
That's pretty cool. By the way, speaking of old timers, Larry Schuler was fast time, the Illinois Hall of Famer. So that's
and
pretty
finished
cool.
like third or fourth in the second race. I mean, if you get to see any highlights of that, he had a pretty good battle with James Swan. They were going at it pretty hard, and old Larry Schuler still got it going.
Still, speaking of highlights, are we going to see any of your stuff on posted?
Yeah, it will be. I've got it on the camera. I got to go get a computer situation taken care of so I can get it off the camera and post it online.
There you go. So it's still coming. Also, we've got a couple other things for you. In the Arca Menard series, I guess it's a big deal when Ty Gibbs does not win a race. Jesse Love, who won his first race at Slinger earlier this year, won over Ty Gibbs at Salem, Indiana. How about that? Congratulations to young Jesse Love, a very likable young man for sure. The Cars Tour ran at Florence, South Carolina. I wouldn't normally care about that, but Josh Berry, who's a pretty big deal in the Cars Tour, he couldn't be there because he was going to Talladega to race, of all places. So Carson Quapple jumped into Josh Berry's car and finished second to Caden Honeycutt, the winner over that one. So pretty big weekend. It's winding down, gentlemen. We have nothing but specials. The season in Wisconsin ends on the 23rd of October for the Halloween 150. It's an Alive for 5 race, and it'll be right here at Dells Raceway Park. So you got that to look forward to. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang in there with us.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
A return to the top of the Big Ten standings is great.
And the Wisconsin Badgers have won the Big Ten regular season championship.
But it isn't enough.
One-timer! He scores!
We want more.
Breakaway Caulfield in for the win. He shoots and scores!
Every puck drop is right here.
Badgers kick off the season this Friday night against Michigan Tech. Our coverage starts at 6:30 on Milwaukee's home for your Wisconsin Badgers, the Big 920.
Let's go, Brandon. Brandon Brown won the Xfinity race yesterday, and NBC told us that that's what the fans were chanting after the race. Let's go, Brandon. What I want you to do is go to Google and put in there, let's go, Brandon, and see what comes up. Hey, Dan, it's kind of a big deal this week. The Road America season passes. This would be the time to get them if you're going to get them, right?
Oh, yeah, the discount prices, the first discount is in effect until tomorrow, and that's for $500 for the whole season. It gets every ticket to every race. It gets you everywhere, a couple other perks as well. It's actually a pretty good deal. After tomorrow, they go up $40. It'll be $540 after tomorrow, then full price after the first of the year. So if you want to take advantage of the early discount pricing, you have to do it by tomorrow, and it's a pretty good deal to do.
I guess so. Speaking of Road America, I don't know if you guys saw this. It's pretty cool stuff. The state of Wisconsin is going to issue a Road America license plate you will be able to purchase and put on your own personal street car. It's black. It says Road America. It has a outline of the racetrack on it, and it is very cool. Dan, what do they
cool
get
on a Mustang?
Yeah, that would look really nice on the Mustang.
What do they get for specialty plates like that? An extra $25 or something?
It's something like that. I mean, it's an extra fee, obviously, but I think I'm going to look into that. I think they look really sharp on that car.
I think it would look very nice, no doubt. So, Dan, now you're in the Bonafide Security Solutions studio, i.e. race car trailer, down at Rockford. And any late weather update there? It was looking pretty bad before, I guess.
So far, so good. I mean, there's been no rain. They've had practice going on. The sportsman or the Mid-Am cars are going out for their second session. Every division's been on the track, and it's all systems go right now.
All right, and you're going to be on the road again, I guess, next week, huh?
Yeah, it's a big Oktoberfest weekend in La Crosse. You can't miss that. It's the biggest party at the end of the season that way. You get to see all your friends from all over the state. Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota. Everybody's going to be there. I'll be there too. I'm actually going to miss the first 2 Brewer playoff games. So come on, Brewers, you got to get to the next round so I can go to a playoff game. My sister and my parents are going to use the tickets to those.
Don't let the last 2 games scare you. It's they're playing it out here and letting the Dodgers win their division. That's all it is, I'm sure. Denny Hamlin starts on the pole today at Talladega. Kyle Busch starts on the outside. Chase Elliott will start 3rd. Ryan Blaney 4th, and Kyle Larson 5th. We will have segments at lap 60 and lap 120 of this one. It gets underway at 1 o'clock.
And a comp caution at 25.
And, there you go, and an extra comp caution at 25. And according to meteorologist Ed Kluka, it's a little bit iffy on the weather down there at Talladega. Have you looked at it?
Yeah, it is. It's still raining.
Okay. Now, I don't know what the rest of the week looks like. We do know they don't have lights there, as was proven to us yesterday. And as we get later, in the year, we're losing daylight a lot earlier, and they're not going to be able to take this thing very late tonight. So it could be rain shortened. It could be darkness shortened. It could be postponed until tomorrow. There's a couple of different things. It does come on, though, or it started at 1 o'clock today, so we'll be able to watch that.
And they ran on a Monday here once before, didn't they? Then they had tornadoes go through there. Boy.
Last year, the great Noose race was held on Monday, if you remember last year.
That's right. They had that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember Mark Martin went in there on a Monday. I thought, almost a caution-free race on a Monday too. And the Sunday in that one, he was driving a Valvoline car, so that's how long ago it was.
I know they did one on a Saturday. They ran one caution-free 2 years ago where it was delayed. I don't know if it was delayed a whole week or whatever, but I remember it happening on a Saturday for some reason. But last year they had a rain delay. You think about it, you got Talladega and I think Michigan are the only ovals left on the circuit that have no lights, right? I mean, and then you got, of course, the road courses, but Indianapolis also, I guess. You got Indianapolis, Talladega, and Michigan are the only ovals left on the entire circuit that have no lights. And that's kind of strange to think about those years when they were putting lights on every single track, and those were the ones they didn't do. And now here we sit with one, and even Michigan a couple years ago when they had a rain out there too, where we didn't have any lights. And the way
they have it in California, Brian?
Yeah, California has lights. Yep, IndyCar ran their championship race at night there for years.
Right, and they'll probably put them at the new track too. Ed?
I just did an update on the weather thing, and it's clear right now. And it looks like it's going to be clear until at least 6 o'clock tonight.
Oh, very good. Well, that's when it gets dark out. So rain and darkness will all converge at the same time, and we'll see who's leading when they decide to pull the plug. It could be some guy like Brandon Brown or Josh Bilicki. Maybe he'll stay out when everyone else pits, and it'll get dark, and it'll start raining, and Josh will, well, that's just a thought.
It would be cool. Have you seen that car he's got? I like the Bandit car he's got this week. It's done up like Smoking the Bandit. It's a Ford, but so what? It's still got the Firebird on it.
Remember a year ago, the Spire Motorsports 77 car won at Daytona, and nobody thought that car would win it with Justin Haley in it.
You can't do it. You can't do it from 5 laps down.
Or 15, as Josh has been doing all season. Yeah, unfortunately, that's exactly what I was going to come up with. Oh, man. Well, it'll be entertaining, that's for sure, and that's why NBC puts it on the big channel, the Yellowwood 500, coming up today. And be sure to listen to it right here on the Big 920. My God, that hour goes by in a hurry, doesn't it? Coming from 2 different racetracks today. Can you imagine? That's pretty cool stuff. And congratulations to Rich Bickle for winning the Rich Bickle 45s yesterday at Rockford. Yeah, his season is ending good. He's not going to want to retire. Who are you kidding? He's going to be, I can do this. I'm going to keep racing. He's done that before, hasn't he?
Are there racetracks in Costa Rica?
No, there will be when he gets
place
down
in
there.
Costa Rica. Who would want to go racing when you got that?
There you go. And remember, real race cars have doors. Even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.